Just kind of like a little pre-recording. Any questions?
What's that little green thing behind you?
Which one?
I meant to say orange, my bad. The little Nemo fish.
Oh yeah, I got 2 orange fish actually.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the one orange fish that has like little white stripes on it is a clownfish. And they're actually usually hosting anemones, and they are quite one of the most common fish in the aquarium trade. However, they're not compatible with any other clownfish, so you can usually only host 1 clownfish per tank, or if you do want to host 2 clownfish, you're better off introducing 2 clownfish at the juvenile stage when they're still young. That way when they grow up together, they can actually determine who's the male and who's the female, and then they'll naturally pair and bond as they grow up together. Otherwise, normally you only want to have 1 clownfish per maybe 125 or 200 gallons.
I see. He seems to get along with the other fish. What's that black one? Stripe one?
The black striped one, that is a Bongai cardinal fish. They're schooling fish, but if they're in a small tank like this, they actually aren't schooling. They wouldn't have enough room to actually school around, so they would start fighting with each other and nipping at each other's fins. So that's why with most ocean fish, you'll see most of them are territorial and aggressive towards others unless you have a large enough space for them to school in, which most modern tanks honestly don't have enough room. Unfortunately, most tanks have to be at the minimum of 250 or 300 gallons for you to actually have enough space to school fish, such as the Bongai cardinal fish.
Let's see. What's Dory doing there in the corner?
Dory's a very shy girl. Unfortunately, whenever I come up to the tank, she's always super shy and she likes to hide. If I wave my hand in front of over here, she'll start hiding in the log.
She did just dump down and realize she couldn't get further.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate, but she's getting too big for that log anyway. She's gonna grow to be twice her size within the next 2 years. Yeah, and that won't even be her final size. She'll honestly be probably about this big by the time she's fully grown. Like, no cap. Honestly, she'll probably be about this much in the tank.
That one's gonna be her final form. Yeah, fish. Wait, are they related to sunfish at all?
The ocean sunfish? I don't think so. I mean, ocean sunfish and blue tangs are entirely different extents too. They're not even the same genus of fish.
You look like you're a long distance cousin, but you're not.
Tangs have no relation to sunfish at all. I mean, if you want to be real, let's see here. Where is the... you see that little purple one with the orange stripes?
We saw him.
Yeah, so those ones are relatives. They're actually within the same genus. They're both tangs.
Tangy.
It's just a little tangy.
What's the story on little Azul Blue?
Azul Blue? Oh, the blue damsel. He's just kind of a fish. I don't really have any special backstory for him.
It's a damsel!
He's a damsel in distress! Nemo's always picking on him. I mean, they kind of pick on each other, honestly, but they occasionally nip at each other, as per territory. But it's nothing really aggressive. They just kind of rush at them and kind of charge at them and fake rush them for half a second, and then they're done. Eventually, I want to get at least an 8-foot tank in the future with all sorts of native fish. I'm gonna have bluegills and perch and sunfish in there, and they're gonna be so freaking big. And it's gonna be a tank that's even longer than this. It's gonna be 2 feet more this way and 2 feet more this way. It could take up this whole entire wall. I can't even explain I can't even explain the scale of it because the camera is a little bit too close, so you can see me up here. But if I had the camera out a little bit further, you'd see that the wall ends over here and ends over here, and the tank that I plan on getting in the future would stretch this whole entire wall. But I don't plan on having it out here. This saltwater aquarium is going to be the main display whenever you walk into the house. But the basement, when we refurbish the basement, will actually eventually have the tank. And then when you step down the stairs and you look to your right, the tank is going to be right there. It's going to be crystal clear. It's going to be full of large native fish. It's going to be so cool. And I'm planning on having a very large piece of driftwood set in one corner of the tank down here. So I plan on having one piece of driftwood right over here and stretching the entirety of the tank. So it's going to start with the stump right here, and then it's going to be a large branch, sort of. And then as it branches out, it's going to branch out across the aquarium. It's kind of going to look like a giant arm and hand stretching across the tank. And it's going to be so cool. I'm going to have plants growing around it and everything. And it's going to be really, really dope. I'm so excited.
Let's get back to the interview. Who's Patrick?
Patrick is the starfish. Where is Patrick?
It's behind you, to your right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you'll be able to see him on the camera. He's right there.
He said stuff in the Discord about Patrick. What can you tell us about him?
He's really fast. For a starfish, anyways. I mean, he'll be over there right now, but then probably by the end of this video, he'll be way up here on the top.
Bruh, that's a running gag right there.
Because
See,
he runs.
Huh?
Because he's running.
Right. He's running the whole time, bro. As the video is running.
No, he's chilling right now, though. I think he's honestly, like, sleeping. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then this orange fish right here, this little damsel, he likes playing with my finger. You see him looking at my finger? I did try to get another wrasse in here, but unfortunately my, yeah, the mango one, you know, he's really, really territorial and aggressive. So any new fish that I do have, I unfortunately can't actually have in here because of him. He's territorial and he'll pester the heck out of them and he'll eventually kill him because he just picks on him so much. Yeah, I lost a lot of fish during that event, unfortunately, which was because like what I did was I raised the water level too high and the oxygen wasn't flowing properly because there was too much water within the tank. And I didn't have this up this high at this time. I actually had it probably about an inch lower, which that doesn't seem like much, but when this suctions the water and blows it out as bubbles this way, and also the exit filtration over here is also providing oxygen into the water as well. When those aren't facing up as much as they are, there's no water movement on the surface to provide oxygen down below. So when there's not as much oxygen, obviously things, yeah. So it kind of gets. So that was a rookie mistake that I made when I first had this tank. But I've since learned, and obviously I've got everything set up now. And I really want to introduce everything back into the tank. But my only issue is with the dotty back. That's what he's called, the dotty back. The little orange aggressive one. But I digress.
You have 10 seconds to wrap it up. How would you wrap this video?
I would wrap it up by saying thanks for the little brief interview, Jamal. I really appreciate you once again. I really appreciate all of my viewers tuning in to this little interview that I had.
Alrighty. Like and subscribe the video. Gang gang.